Welcome to my channel. In this video I want to show you the newest book by UrbanAnna, and it's a book about Rome. Huge thanks to Astrid for sending me this book for a review. You know that I'm a huge fan of shopfronts books. So far I have 2 shopfronts books and also a book about Paris. Rome is one of my favorite cities. I visited several times and I could visit it 100 times more. And of course I was very excited when I saw that now I can color 21 unique shopfront designs. And you know that I absolutely love quality of these books. If we compare this one with previous books, Rome is slightly shorter, and in shopfronts we have 45 designs. In Rome and Paris we have 21. Paper inside it's the same. So I already used here regular pencils, I used graphitins, I used Inktense, and paper is perfect for everything. As usual, in the beginning of the book we have names of places, so either you can Google them and to look at real buildings, or even more fun, if you plan to visit Rome, you can use it as your own personal guide. You can color something in advance, or you can use it for fun coloring during your trip to Rome. What was interesting for me, it's a general difference in color palette. When we compare color palette for Paris and to color palette for Rome, they of course are totally different. And for me it was quite interesting to think about main colors which I can use in each of the books. So after a flip through, I will also post my short swatching of my watercolors, which I think are the most helpful for coloring Rome. In Paris, I mostly concentrated on various pastel shades, mint green, blue violet, various shades of cold gray, cold pink colors, but here mostly we have warm, earthy colors, so it will be a lot of fun. Look at all those amazing color palettes. This unique color of Italian buildings. I can't even find appropriate names for them. Light yellow, or maybe earthy yellow, light ochre, all shades of terracotta, sienna colors, and of course they create perfect contrast for all the vibrant plants, flowers, and Astrid, she collected the most popular shops here. So we have Tabaccheria, we have Gelateria, we have Asteria, Trattoria, all those charming places which you can find in Rome or in other cities. I really hope that she will continue this amazing series. I would love to see similar book about Vienna, and in Italy maybe about Florence or about Venice, or maybe about some smaller, less popular Italian regions which are still charming. Look at this one, it's one of my favorite, and well, all those shades of earthy reds, I will try to do something similar, because that's what create unique atmosphere, those colors which are not extremely vibrant but still very interesting, and those hues from earthy red. I think that there is a unique color like Venice red, which you can use as a base and then to blend it with more yellow, more brown colors to create similar shades. I definitely will try to do it. One of the famous Roman fountains, and of course all those shops which provide us with many yummy things: baked goods, wine, gelato, And of course, I was extremely happy to find those bikes, those tiny famous Italian bikes like Vespa. This one is especially charming because it has these 3 colors of Italian flag. Absolutely lovely detail. Oh, look at this Salumeria, Formaggio. You immediately want to eat something yummy, and all those charming details of small trattorias like those white and red tablecloths. Another lovely detail here. And that's another one of my favorites, where you can see part of the Colosseum in the end of the street, another tiny bike, and again collection of this warm caput mortuum orange, red yellow colors. And each building, they look different, but in the same time they create very well balanced atmosphere of the street. So everything is very harmonious and nothing is out of place. That's what creates Italian charm. This one is also very lovely. And gelato, that's probably my 3rd favorite in the book, simply because I am a huge fan of Italian gelato. Lovely pictures. Even if you don't like to use watercolor or Inktense or other water-soluble pencils, I'm sure that they will look great with regular pencils. Maybe I need to do something with Prismacolors or with polychromasis. Such a lovely color combos. Again, interesting color for the wall, and it helps to stand the front part of the shop very nicely because it creates very good contrast. So here is a mixing chart as usual in UrbanAnna books. Well, I am totally in love with this small charming book, and I hope to post my first color alongs from it quite soon. And of course, I don't intend to abandon all my other books, so please stay with me and we will color a lot of lovely pictures in this one. And now I will try to find some useful watercolors for this book in my huge collection of paints. When I looked at my huge collection of watercolors, I realized that even the names of many paints hint me that they could be perfect for Italian landscapes or cityscapes. For example, here I have Polish paint, and the name of this vibrant yellow, which I absolutely love, it's Naples yellow. I love to use it as an underpaint everywhere, for landscapes, for botanical illustrations. If you put it on the first layer, it creates this very shiny, glowing effect. You can use everything on top of it and still your picture will be glowing. So definitely I will use this Naples yellow for sunny effects on the pictures. Many of the buildings, they have at least the top of the building with this vibrant yellow color. So Naples yellow. Of course, the name of the paint doesn't mean that they will be the same in different brands. I have also Naples yellow, but this time it's by Roman Schmand. And this Naples yellow is totally different, but also very helpful. If this one is good for creating general atmosphere of the sunshine, next colors are just perfect for these unique colors of Italian buildings. You know, all those shades of faded yellow, light ochre, and other colors which I even can't name, but you can recognize them as unique Italian colors for buildings. That's what creates atmosphere. So this one is called Naples Yellow Light. you can see that it's much warmer, and I don't even need to mix anything. I can use it directly from the pan. I saw a lot of buildings which I can do with this paint. For such beginners as myself, names of paints, it's all very helpful when they hint you where you can actually use them. And another color, I have this slightly different Venetian airs. Of course, next, when I think about Italian cities, I think about terracotta, about colors of roofs. And here I have another Venetian color. It's called Venetian red. I have it in a couple of brands. It's a very popular pigment, PR102, and I think that it's also quite perfect for terracotta. And I also found that from my old trips to Tuscany, to Florence, I have a couple of Zecchi watercolors. It's handmade watercolor from Florence, and this lovely shade, it's very similar to Venetian red. I purchased it only because of the name, and the name is Dragon Blood. Definitely also quite helpful. I think that actually it's a very good idea to purchase a couple of colors when you visit city as a small souvenir, maybe color which represents for you the most this area. And from the same family, I plan to use also caput mortuum. This caput mortuum I love to use for shading. And surprisingly, for me it works quite well for shading both these earthy red colors or earthy yellow colors. Definitely, I'm sure that it will be helpful in Rome book. Sorry, I have very bad pen. And of course, such traditional colors like burnt sienna or burnt umber. That's burnt sienna, burnt umber. I think that they are available in every brand, even in smallest sets. And when you start to mix them, you will have plenty of colors to create bricks, stones, different effects on the buildings. So that's definitely my main colors for buildings. This burnt sienna and burnt umber also are very helpful in blends for creating interesting grays. Mostly I blend them with lavender color, and indeed they can create quite nice shadows. When I purchased this lavender, I did video where I tested some mixes. That's mix of lavender and burnt umber, and by varying the ratio of each color you can get different hues. I call them slightly dirty grays, and quite often they look even more interesting rather than using pre-mixed gray colors. So I definitely will be trying to mix some interesting grays from those lavender, burnt sienna, burnt umber, and also with raw sienna. They also can be quite helpful when you need to show shadows on off-white or cream building. They look like shading colors with additional interesting color accent. And of course the final color which I will need is green. For Italy, I love to use lovely vibrant yellow green shades. For example, here I have as a base color sap green, and it can work quite well with color like Naples yellow when you need to show that the tree or bush is highlighted by very vibrant sunshine. And also it can be mixed with those burnt sienna, burnt umber to create more muted earthy colors. If you don't love to mix, if you love to use already pre-mixed colors, I would also recommend to add, for example, one cold green color. That's color which I would use for cypress trees, which are also quite often part of the landscape for Italy, and it also could be used for shadows. So that was Beryllium green. Or if you love to mix, I would recommend to use this very helpful natural tint. Honestly, for a long time when I just started to color, I never used natural tint, and only thanks to some videos I discovered existence and how helpful this color is. So you can get your main color, you blend it with natural tint, and it will create perfect shading color, so you won't need anything else. Here is the upper part of the tree with more highlighted, this darker color for shadows, and you already have tree which have nice highlights and nice shadows, even with this limited color palette. And this natural tint, it's helpful for all your palette when you just need to create natural shadow. Yes, I know that it sounds ridiculous for those who are very familiar and very experienced with watercolor. I love to use my huge collection of watercolors because I love to collect them, and finally I have a book where perfect reacts quite well with watercolor, where I can use colors which I don't use very frequently, like those earthy reds, because mostly in my other books I play with blue, with green colors. So I'm very excited to create a couple of cityscapes using watercolors, and I hope that you also will be using not only pencils but also watercolors, because this book, it's a really good practice. So I hope that very soon I will publish some of color alongs, and we will have a lot of fun with Rome book. But of course I also don't plan to abandon all my other books, my shop fronts, Paris book. So I will see you in my color along videos.